Signifies dirt, doom, death, purple. It's royalty. See, these royalty. See, these are all words. These are all symbolisms. If you go on, that's what strikes you first. Purple, it's royalty. What else? Green. Oh, we said, oh, it's pasture. Green, it means pasture. The trees are getting green. It's time to go out. It's blooming outside. That is green. What about, let's go now to symbols, because I said symbolism is an inclusion of a symbol or a word in a statement or a paragraph. What symbol would you see and automatically know, get you on guessing? For example, a symbol. For a symbol, this. If you see this, automatically you know that it means love. It means love. If you see a picture of a dove, sorry, I can't draw a dove. A picture of a dove, we know it implies peace. For a dove, means peace. So these are, what other symbols do you know that if you see automatically tells you it's something? You know, you get to know this, that these are all symbolisms. So symbolisms could be a symbol, an object, an art, you know, or a statement that implies something, or a word that implies something. That is symbolism. So it's a symbol, an art, an object, a drawing, or it's a word in a statement that symbolizes something. You should just need to identify them in the paragraph or in the essay or in an article or whatever it is that you're reading. You're able to say, oh, this is, you know, oh, this is what it means. Thank you. Sometimes we've been asked by our teachers to write an essay, a composition, an article, a poetry, whatever it is that we need to write on, or there are some facts that you need to explain something, and they give you words, for example, illustrate, compare, contrast, give a conclusion, define, explain. These are some of the terms that you might probably often hear, but then you need to know the description, what it means, the meaning of these words in order to be able to properly answer. So we're going to look at certain terms that we use in essay writing, or generally in writing, or even or in explanations often. So let's start with what we like. Explain. Another synonym, and I told us in the past text or video that synonym means something that is similar. Another meaningful explain or synonym for explain means to elucidate, to expand, to expound, to expatiate means explain. Explain makes it simple. It's just implying that I want you to make things clear, to explain further, to explain vividly, to explain deeper, to give various examples, various statements. That is what simply means to explain. Like an explanation, it's giving multiple statements as regards to a term or a word. That is an explanation, giving multiple statements or a set of statements describing a term, describing a word. That is explaining. And explaining oftentimes is being used in theories. If you have a theory, that is when explanations come in. So explanation, like I rightly said, are multiple or sets of statements sets of statements describing a term, and usually it makes the term, it's for clarity, it's for vividness, to be vivid. It's usually vividly, or it's usually vivid. And I said oftentimes it's mostly been used for theories. It's often used for theories, often used to either solve a problem or a theory. To define is similar to explanation, but define is just one explanation. It's just one statement. It's just a simple and clear and concise statement that is being used to describe, or it's being used to describe a term. That is a defined. That is a definition, to define. For example, what is the definition of a male? It's simple, a boy or a man. One sentence, just one explanation, one simple explanation to a term that is defined. It's a statement describing a term or a word. To illustrate, illustrate comes from the Latin word, meaning to light up. To light up, or enlighten. This right here tells you that it means that you have to go, like, take it out of that and bring it into like life, to make it life. Like people see what it means, to illustrate, to show, to present, to tell us what it is in a much more picturesque way. That is illustrate. It means you're putting in pictures into the words. You're putting in action into the words, into the paragraph, into the essay. That is to illustrate. For example, Paul is sad. How do you demonstrate that Paul is sad to the people? Your face. See my face? Paul is sad. You're illustrating that Paul is sad. So an illustration is putting in a picture. It's adding a picture, a symbol, or an action, in a statement. And usually you would see illustrations in like drama, for example. They're often in drama acting, and poetry. Usually you see that. It's an illustration. So that, and oftentimes, or even storybooks, oftentimes children's storybooks, to make it light up, taking pictures to put it in an abstract world. It brings in the abstract word of it. It's an abstract form. It's an abstract form. It's an abstract form. Full stop. It's an abstract form. For example, children's novels. Most often, if you just go and you start reading, the kids oftentimes don't understand. So you have to bring in illustrations, you have to bring in examples, you have to act out the scene. That is an illustration. That is to illustrate, to make it live, that people understand vividly. That is an illustration.
Jana tu kero masana manga jangale gita do bouge do faiwa.